in town was telling me that one of the YouTubers, I ain't gonna say his name, was saying that Terence Crawford was holding up the Errol Spence fight. I hadn't heard anything until today, till somebody, my Philly guy brought it up to me, and we was talking about, what was we talking about? I think we was talking about, shit, I can't even remember. I think we was talking, I don't end up talking about the Victor Conte interview he did on the Boxer Voice, which I don't know how far I am. By the time I get off, I should be done listening to the interview, and I'm probably gonna have some content for the interview. This probably go up Saturday, so probably Sunday and Monday you see something about the interview. Some very informative stuff, there. So, but yeah, yep. Terence Crawford holding up the fight, and well, Crawford say yesterday's price is not today's price. So that, if you heard that report, it's 100% accurate that he is holding up the fight. But let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. So it sounded like they was agreed on. That's what I'm just saying, assuming it sounded like he was agreed on. He moved the line. Now I'm gonna give y'all some other intel that I ain't never said. Shout out to my Philly boy again on this one. So y'all remember kind of like when they said negotiations fell out, I want to say like November or whatever, or maybe it was that point in time, I forgot. And word Bud was being difficult in negotiations. He was, trying to get Al Heyman the front money for his entourage, asking for Al Heyman to cover his entourage, and because a lot of times you gotta understand, a lot of that money come out their own pocket, bro. Like, I was listening to Ishay Smith had shared something on Twitter where his hotel fees was coming out of his purse. Now I know it's different situations and stuff, but it was like said that Bud was being difficult and asking for Al Heyman to cover his entourage. It was some enormous number of people that he wanted to financially took care of, and he was asking for just being very, very difficult. He was being very, very difficult in what he was asking for. And the reason that was because Al Heyman was bullshitting on the money about the stuff about the guarantee and the transparency. And the thing about what's so funny, real quick, to bring up the transparency, is that Timothy Bradley kind of told people that it really ain't no transparency. He did an interview with Coach Malachi, and Coach Malachi asked some good questions. He basically said, like, bruh, like, how do y'all know? Well, he vindicated me when it came to the pay-per-view structure, how it get paid. He got 10% of the pay-per-view buys. And how I break down is 45% go to the promoter, 45, and we went over this article before, but everybody don't see the videos. 45 go to the promoter, 45 go to the cable and satellite companies for carrying, and 10% goes to the network. So when Steven Espinoza say they make a small percentage of from the pay-per-view proceeds, he is right about that. So it's from when I heard what it sounded like, and it could vary per fight. Fighters get 10% a piece if they split a $50 meal. So they get 20% of the 45% that come from the promoter's pocket. So when they say 50-50 split of pay-per-views, that means 10% usually. And then, they get like 3% of the gate too. So if the pay-per-view is $80, they get 10% of that, which is $8 a home. So every pay-per-view they sell, they get $8 of it. When he fought Pacquiao, it was $50. So they got 10% of $50, which is $5. So Bud asked for transparency when it came to Al Heyman. Yes, it was heard of. And he asked him, to get to my point, he asked him, how do you know how many pay-per-views you do? He said, you don't. They just tell you. We just got to go off the number they said. So then again, like I said, boxing is a poor man's sport. It's looked at as an uneducational sport. And what's so funny about it is that's necessarily don't have to be true. I mean, James Brown has a 7th grade education, bro. And a lot of these guys back in the day didn't have the best, book. They wasn't book smart, but they was street smart, and they knew business. They was business smart. And they did things on their masters. They own everything. They cut the middleman out. The shit that Future kind of like explaining what he doing, thanks to his cousin Rico Wade. Organized Sound Noise, excuse me. I think that's the name of the group, but production group, is what they was doing back in the day. All right, man, I want that to go here, put that here, and auditing your books. They took the lion's share of the money. This is why they had jets and planes, and they had ownership of that shit. So, but he said they just tell you, and if it was if they was publicly owned companies, they would have to tell the fighters and tell the traders. I mean, the investors, and that's one of the things about not being a publicly traded company. You don't have to be as open, but obviously it has a lot of benefits to it too, and it has a lot of both sides benefits. So Bud sounded like he wanted transparency. But then again, I'm pretty sure Tim Bradley had a guarantee. You want transparency. So at this point, to get to my point of the video, kind of, I had to build it up a bit. Well, to that point, he was trying to get transparency on the exact numbers, which they don't give to the fighters. You're just going on what they say. Like I said, if these companies was really publicly traded or whatever, they would have to, divulge to everybody. So this is why they don't. And I think Showtime is a publicly traded company, Viacom, but PBC is probably not a publicly traded company. So so I don't know pretty much how all that shit goes as far as PBC, but and then obviously the guarantee got to be met before they start paying out. So I think it's 150,000 pay-per-views. Anything after that, then they percentage start kicking in, and they break even. They guarantees start kicking in. It probably be 100, 200,000 buys, 150,000. I think after 100K, Canelo start clocking his numbers. Everybody else think it's 150,000 buys. But yeah, basically, what's going on here is that Terence Crawford is sticking them up for more money, and apparently ain't shit been signed where he locked in, and now that they did the numbers they did versus Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, from what it's put to me, he knows there's more money in the pot, and now he's sticking up Al Heyman for more money. Because he know what Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis did, now they got some money, they can play with. So he is positioning himself to get more money and be shrewd with Al Heyman. And he know now he has to leverage. Now if Al Heyman would have came with a better deal up front, like Terence Crawford compromised a little bit, for Terence Crawford, Al Heyman would have came out on top. He gonna come out significantly on top anyway. No matter what type of positioning Terence Crawford is getting, if it's getting money for his entourage, if it's getting him they flights and hotels comped or whatever it is, Al Heyman's still gonna come out on top. But if Al Heyman would have dealt, would have been more, I don't know, would have rolled out the red carpet treatment to Terence Crawford, offered him a fight instead of waiting for Avanesian, got him comfortable, and would have came with a solid deal up front. His lawyers would have did some positioning. All right, cool, y'all can have that, but this is what y'all can't have, a little bit of that. He would have came out even more of a fat rat in this situation. This fight probably still would have been happening when it's been happening, but he'd have locked Terence Crawford into a number. And now after he's seen what Spence and Errol, Gervonta and Ryan did, now he gonna leverage Al for more money, because now they don't have another option. He has the leverage now. Before he took the Avanesian fight, Terence Crawford had no leverage in their eyes. Terence Crawford went out and found leverage. You know what I'm saying? And now he got leverage, and now they kind of locked into this. And if it is Errol Spence putting his foot down, or putting his hoof down, since he won't do that little dance he did after he did Ugas, and he putting his foot down like, well, I want this fight another fight. Now, Crawford got leverage for them to conform how they want to conform. And now, also, remember it leaked out from Spectrum that they was going to fight in June or whatever. Now it's pushed back to July 22nd. But now that they, Terence Crawford probably know they promised something to the network, now he going to leverage Al for more money. So the fight is going to happen. Terence Crawford just sweetening the pot for herself, and that's the detriment of not locking a motherfucker into a deal and not signing nothing. And sometimes they don't. He said they don't sign nothing until after the weigh-in. That's the detriment. If they would have locked the contract in at a number, and maybe the reason they didn't lock a contract in at this point because they still had to fine tune some of the small points in the contract. He said, "Oh, y'all did 1.2. I know y'all got money now, so let me squeeze a couple more dollars out of y'all." And that's what he doing. He And people want to say he a bad businessman, he do bad business, whatever. Well, he finessing the shit out of Al Heyman and them. And now he got the leverage, and for him to have the leverage like that, either Earl got to be pushing for it, or the network, they got to tell the network this is what they delivering. Right? This is what they delivering. You know? And obviously Al Heyman is not going to completely break for Terence Crawford, but now Crawford going to position whatever it is. If it's more guarantee, if it's training camp expenses, pre-diems, whatever it may be. If it's taking care of, whatever the perks he's looking for, if it's taking care of the sanctioning fees, whatever it is, he getting them to sweeten the pot because they need this fight. They need that momentum from the Tank fight to roll in. We talking about the Tank momentum need to keep going. PBC momentum needs to keep going as a whole. So, and even if Showtime already made a decision, they moving on from boxing, they need to be auditioning for other networks, their product for other networks and shit. So, but yeah, Terence Crawford is, being a little difficult, but rightfully so. He deserve, pour out a little liquor. He deserve a little bit, in my opinion, for all the bullshit he been dragged through. He rightfully, he right now. You know what I'm saying? To kind of drag PBC through the mud and bullshit them. They drug this man's name through the mud for 5 years. They drug his name. Oh, he not a pay-per-view star. He not this. He not that. They dogged him for years. They dogged him for years. For years they dogged him. So now he gonna play a little games with them. Leverage them some money. And it's a fight that they sound like they already promised to Showtime, Viacom, CBS, and they gotta deliver. So hey, it is what it is. So. It's a telling to me the fight is done. It's gonna get done, and they gonna sweeten the pot a little bit for him, and could get an announcement as early as May 20th. So it is what it is. Check out the Box Rumor playlist. Check out the welterweight boxing playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Appreciate you get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere: TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Peace.